Everybody, and welcome to Whiteskys Wisdom. This is a reading for Capricorn. How you going, Capricorn? I'm safe and secure in my world. I choose to believe that everyone is always helpful. Therefore, wherever I go in life, people are there to help me. And I accept all of myself. I'll put the rest back as a lot there. The work I do on myself is not a goal. It is a progress, a lifetime progress. I choose to enjoy the process. Okay, self-acceptance. It's okay to be you, Capricorn. Let's get into it. Thank you. Star Mother. How can you mother yourself? The work I do on myself is not a goal. It is a process, a lifetime process. I choose to enjoy the process. I just feel like I have to read these again after getting that. I choose to believe that everyone is always helpful. Therefore, wherever I go in life, people are there to help me. How do you feel when I say those affirmations? Does it feel true? Does it feel ridiculous when you hear that? As in, it couldn't be further from the truth. How does it make you feel? That's an indication of how you feel about that being said. Because if you're not feeling safe and secure in your world, feeling anything but, and you think that everyone is always there not to help you, no matter where you go in life, for me to say, you know, if that was me, I'd be going, yeah, right, sure. Yeah, I believe it. And that's sort of how the affirmations work. It's probably the best way of describing. It's probably why I'm saying how you can mother yourself. By looking at affirmations sometimes, and if they really trigger you, you know that's where you've got to do some work. It's like, yeah, right, I believe it. Remember to respond rather than react. See? Yeah, I believe it. Sure, I'm not secure, blah, blah, you know. Or, oh, right. Yeah. Nah, I'm not feeling so secure, you know. Why is that? You know, and that's the harder path. By turning the energy inwards instead of projecting it outwards is the hardest. It's easy to project energy outwards. We do it all the time. We're creating the world, and everything we talk, we do, we're out there. So we're sort of programmed to project our energy out towards others, whether it be negative or positive. And when we're in a state of, you know, fight or flight or reacting, if we're not feeling secure or safe in our world in any way, we can react, or we're having that happen with other individuals in our world. You know, they're reacting, not feeling safe and secure. And I tell you what, the world's not exactly hard, you know, making the place feel safe and secure. It's very unsure. There's no real security. Nobody really knows if we're going to have money anymore, or, you know, whatever, you know. Well, the robots take over the world. All these things they're throwing at us at the moment, you know. So, yeah, it would be hard, I think, for a lot of people to believe that everyone is always helpful. Therefore, wherever I go in life, people are always there to help me, because out in the world, a lot of people are just looking after number one because things are tough. Everyone's looking after themselves and their families. It feels like that. And the more that is the feeling out there, the more it happens. And so that breeds fear. And people sort of trying to grab what they can. And, you know, it breeds more fear, you know. And it can turn Not just, if the fear can breed fear, and it can be contagious. And you can see it when you don't watch the news, folks, but if you ever unfortunately see anything from the news, if I turned this back, interesting, I turned it back. Park your negative thoughts and work only with the positive. So yeah, one, don't look at the news or all the negative stuff they're trying to put out there. It's something that's really coming in here. It's now time to nurture and mother yourself. Maybe you didn't have a good mother role. Maybe you are a mother. It doesn't matter what context that is. It's now time to nurture yourself, okay? To care for yourself, to make sure that you're looking after your body and your diet and you're resting, the things that mum, if you had a mum that was like that, to chase you off and make sure you were looked after your health and your hygiene, all those sorts of things. And dads do that, of course, too. But nurture yourself, probably the best way of describing it, okay? Hold yourself, comfort yourself. Because the negative thought spirals can literally get out of control. And most of the negative thought spirals come from perceptions of how you feel you acted or other people that treated you or whatever happened in the past. So it's now also what I just said to Gemini too, over this full moon. It's a really good time to be really quiet with yourself and just see the thoughts that are going around in your mind. And to literally, the one thing I'll do is if they're like a constant rumination about something that's really negative and put me just in a bad mood, or something that happened before. The constant, the stories that I'd tell myself, I'd literally catch myself, I might be doing the dishes or whatever. I'll catch myself and just go, brain, stop it, out. I don't have to say it loud like I just did then, but it's literally just catching my brain going, what are you doing? You're ruining my day. Stop it. Like you would a child. Maybe that's the mothering. Sometimes kids don't know necessarily what's good for them. They do need a little bit of sometimes to be snapped out of whatever they're doing, because kids need to learn. So maybe it's what you're doing is you're learning to realise that your brain's an out of control running amok child. It's a good way to put it, actually. Out of amok, running amok child. Yeah. And that most of us have absolutely no control over this run amok child that's just going on in the background behind us as we're trying to get on with our day. And realising why we're always stressed and confuddled and tired, because there's a toddler behind us screaming for attention. Excuse me. Well, that just woke up my throat, didn't it? I'm sorry to cough over the microphone. Excuse me. Yeah. Look at the brain. Just catch it for a second. Catch that little naughty kid just going, what are you doing? Really? You're thinking about that again, are you? Really? You're taking me back to that time when things were really bad and yeah, blah, blah, and I need to feel that right now. Really? No. I choose to park that negative thought right here, right now. You're in the naughty corner. No, off you go. No, don't want to hear it. Keep on carrying on. There'll be no dinner. And work with the positive. That's it. If you're a good kid, I'm just giving you examples. Brain, if you're well-behaved, we'll do something nice like meditation or think some really positive thoughts or decide to do something good for ourselves, It's a classic considering your brain as a child. But no, it's this little subconscious running away with ourselves. That lightened the mood, didn't it? Because I do liken it to that. My brain's a brilliant thing, but at times it can be it just goes over the same storyline that I've got. and I catch it. I might treat it like that myself. You see, all these thoughts and patterns and manifestations could come literally back from the beginning, right at the start, the way you were treated as a child, your culture, because of the way, all of it, you know, things that happened all through our lives here could really erode away the feeling of safety and security. There could have been people that told you that money was the root of all evil and you'll never amount to anything and blah, 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 whatever. And a lot of people say a lot of things that stick with us, or events and things that will back that up and prove our worth or our ability to feel safe and secure in the world. So it's a matter of just checking those things that'll come up, you know. Often the way I sort of catch it is to hear a saying that one of my parents or somebody around me would have said, you know, oh, you know, we can't afford that, you know, that sort of thing, or whatever the comment be. It can just be a throwaway comment, and it just, as a child, all right, we can't afford that, and that's just playing on the back of your brain, affecting how I feel about being safe and secure. Another good example I like, and is a child, I've seen a few examples of this, I don't know if it's all cases, but the examples I've seen is a child that's come from a large family that doesn't have any money, much money. And like an example, obviously I'm Australian, you know, back in the day, they'd take the whole family out and get them a big packet, which is like a rolled up in paper, like this size, packet of chips, hot chips. And the family would share, they'd open the top up and the whole family would share this massive, great container of hot chips. So if you were down the scale, say, child number 8 or something, because back in the day Australians had a few kids, you wouldn't get many of those chips. You know, Dad would get some, Mum would get, you know, the biggest kid, and then you'd be right down trying to get into this packet and trying to get these chips. It was basically like lions, you know, whoever was the biggest and strongest got the most food. As they get older, that feeling of not having enough food can really affect them, or not having enough, or having to compete to get stuff, or they eat extremely quickly, because if they eat really quickly, then you're going to have the ability to be able to put more in your mouth, because otherwise your siblings or whoever's going to get the food. I'm off an example frenzy here, but you get the idea. Past situations can affect the way that you feel safe and secure in the world. So, to choose to believe that everyone is always helpful can be really helpful, particularly if you haven't had that before. Everyone's been really unhelpful, anything but helpful. And that's the expectation of the next person that you have to deal with. More than likely what you're going to get. But if you actually make the choice to choose that everyone is always helpful, whether it be from here out on in, therefore, the likelihood that you're going to run into people that are helpful is increased, because that's the expectation of what you're actually looking for now. Because we literally are energetic beings, and what we draw into ourselves is what we expect, like for like. So if we're expecting everybody to be a pain in the butt, that's exactly what they're going to be. So there you go. I'll get some more advice for you. Any more advice, please? Beautiful Capricorns. Yeah, enjoy the process. And the more you enjoy the process, particularly probably at the moon, You might be stargazing a lot more. Starting to connect back with that inner child. You want advice. Because when we start to actually realise that when you work on yourself, you look after yourself, and you start to check that crazy little kid mind, the one that runs away. Nah, I'm going to do what I want. I'm going to smash everything behind you. And you try to do your work. You get a chance to start to work on where you want to go and what you want to do, where you want to be, and how you're going to start to improve. Energy's pulled more back into time and place and yourself instead of into the past and other situations. So you have more energy because our energy can be, we need to guard our energy to a certain degree. It's easy to give it out to all and sundry and become quite drained. So you need to pull it back in. We can start to focus on things that actually bring us joy, creations, our careers, looking after things that we own, maybe saving up, starting to think about a holiday, all those sorts of things, starting to start to shift the energy towards bringing more joy and goodness and happiness into your world. And it not just brings it back into your world, it brings it back to your whole community. The things around you, your pot plants, your pets, your home, your car, your clothes, everything. Everything starts to shift up. It might be a really good time at this full moon to actually have a real good look around and get rid of all that stuff that holds energy that doesn't make you feel really good, safe and secure. You might look at something and go, oh yeah, so-and-so gave that to me. Oh, I remember all that. And that the object can bring back the memories that keep you in that space. It might be beautiful, functional, perfect for purpose, everything. But when you look at it, you think of a situation that makes you feel anything of any negativity. It is time to donate, sell, hand on, and then bring in something into that space, that time, whatever, that brings you joy, peace, happiness. And it can be very difficult to do so. But I think once you start to do it, once you start listing things, once you start going through that cupboard and getting rid of those old outfits or trinkets or whatever it be, it starts to kind of roll on. And then you end up with all this space, this clearing, this freeing. It's emotive when you go through it because things hold a lot of them. These things will be, particularly the things that you need to probably get rid of, the things that it can be emotive. It's emotive to do it. I remember. It's time to go, okay? Because it's time to bring harmony and balance back into your world. See, this could also bring harmony and balance back into your relationships, all your relationships with yourself, male and female. But also, look at the way that those two individuals are looking at each other. Those two people are right here, right now. They're nowhere else. To free up the mind and space and things and everything else can free up time and space to be present here and now, which can bring great joy. It can be with a relationship, but it could be in any scenario. I'll get some more guidance on that. Thank you. So yes, I think it's basically saying that it's really, really important that you have two choices. When you choose with a situation that flares up stuff from the past situations where you don't feel safe and secure, you can either sending energy out. No, whatever. Or turn that light in and go, right, why did that spark me off? Or even just take a breath just for a second before you respond. Very difficult to cultivate, but very, very, very beneficial once learnt. Can be learnt to take time to breathe, okay, and then respond. Because everybody's coming back with their stuff from their place too. And I think once you come to that realisation, everybody's just coming from their own stuff, then things don't become so personal, because they're just coming from their stuff, you know what I mean? So it's not a point of looking back constantly and ruminating about it. It's now time to realise that you can bring complete and utter balance here. But it's also a realisation that not everybody has your back. Not everyone. Hey, and that's okay too. Not everybody can have your back. Sometimes you've got to have your own back. And see, sometimes the biggest lessons can come from the fact that people that you really, truly believed were part of your crew had your back. And they didn't necessarily do that because they were coming from their own stuff, perception stuff, things they had to deal with in this world, their own stuff. So yeah, that can be a massive thing to balance out. But once you actually realise that not everybody has your back, particularly when it comes to finances, that you do need to look after yourself in business, partnerships, financial partnerships, and marriages can be financial partnerships. They are financial partnerships. Park your negative thoughts and work only with the positive. But make sure you don't give away information about relationships or finances to anyone, really. The state of your finances or the state of your relationship is something that best for a lot of people's energy is best kept to themselves. Then you're not open to other people's opinion or exploitation. Safety measure. A safety measure. Look after yourself. But I think that's the advice. I really hope that helped, Capricorn. I love you all, and bye for now.